we finally found a car. And what if I told you that the car I'm looking at right now has a 15-second faster Nuremberg time than my previous M3 competition? That's pretty crazy. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I know I've been MIA. I know I've been missing. We were in the lab, we were doing some research, and we finally found a spec that I wanted to pounce on, because that's what it's all about, guys. We got to be patient. I don't want to do anything impulsive or out of haste, but I think the spec we got here, I think was worth the wait. So, fellas, I introduce to you my newly acquired 2018 ZL1 1LE. This car is basically an American GT3. If you guys know your stuff about these cars, the 2018s actually only come the 6-speed manual. So check it out, guys. This is my first ever manual transmission car, and I am stoked. Look at that. Look at that. I can even touch it. So we've been learning, we've been practicing. I will say it has not been easy. There's been so many stoplights, stop signs that I've come up to where I'm just clenched. You know, the cars pull up, trucks, there's like a slight incline. My heart rate goes up, my hands are getting clammy, and then next thing you know, I'm dropping the clutch. You know, the car's like, we're getting it. It's been really fun. It's been a really fun experience. The driving dynamics are completely different. I can see why people are so addicted, because the engagement and experience is unmatched. Let's just put it that way. Because this is a manual, that also means I can learn with you guys. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of drives where we're practicing, working on techniques, because there's still a lot that we have to learn. I probably have about 100 miles of manual driving under my belt, and this is my first manual ever. I haven't driven manual before. You know, I just hopped in and watched some YouTube videos. We failed, got it, failed, got it. So now I feel like, you know, I'm a decent manual driver. I can still make it around the city. We are in the Scottsdale area, which is really busy. You got to be on your game here. But enough of that, I digress. Fellas, let's go back to this car and let's talk about what we have going on here. So once again, this is a 2018 ZL1 1LE. So there's a lot of things that separate this car from a standard ZL1. We have these really aggressive dive planes up front. This helps give the car some downforce on the front axle, so you have a lot of traction, because this car is not X-Drive, obviously. It's right to the rears, fellas. We got some meaty 335s back here, which is just insane. This is my first rear-wheel drive car, which has also been kind of a learning experience. Apart from the dive planes, the cooling is crazy. If you guys didn't know, this is the same engine that's out of the C7 Z06, so it is the LT4, and I've always wanted that engine. I've been looking at that platform for so long. To be honest, if the right C7Z that was manual popped up, I probably would have pounced on that car. I couldn't find it. I could not find a clean spec, a low mileage spec. Part of me wanted to try something different. You know, a lot of people go the C7Z route. 1LEs are a little bit more unique. People don't know about them. I even remember the first time I came across a 1LE on the highway, I thought, dude, what is this poser doing with this wing? Like all this stuff, like it's just a Camaro. I had no idea Chevy even made this car from the factory, so I was very ignorant. So that's what I like about this car, is it's low key, but it's an absolute monster. I think this car is nicknamed the Beast because it really is a weapon. Apart from the cooling dive planes, this is Chevy's track focused car. Not only do you get the extra cooling and the dive planes, you get this massive front splitter here. You get these absolute pancake, actually I wouldn't even say pancake, I'd say pizza sized front rotors. There's 6-piston Brembo 2-piece up front. You have 4-piece rotors in the rear, which is insane. I mean, fellas, that's what my M340i had from the factory up front. This is just insane. We have 10 pistons on this car, where my 340 had 5. So it's double the pistons, double the stopping power. So apart from the brakes being massive and upgraded from the standard ZL1, you have this totally rad carbon fiber spoiler here. Look at that. What an absolute monster of a wing, man. Just look at that. Oh, it looks so good. I'm usually not a spoiler guy, but I just love the way this spoiler looks. I think they did it right. I can't remember who designed it. I think the guy's name was like Pete or something like that. He worked with the race cars, you know, Chevrolet's racing and stuff like that, but he did a great job. So that's the rear aero. I believe this car at 150 miles an hour or something like that generates close to 300 pounds of downforce, which is just absurd. But guys, it gets even better. Not only do you get the dive planes, the upgraded cooling, the upgraded brakes, you get the upgraded suspension. Fellas, this car comes with the Multimatic DSSV spool damper system, or dynamic damper system. It's the same system used on the 4GT. A lot of other race cars use that system. It is really rough. It rides really harsh. For some reason, the car is still comfortable, and I think it has a lot to do with these seats. These Recaro seats are really, really nice. You guys can see there, it's got a nice ZL1 badge. It says Recaro up here. These are extremely comfortable. And I think a part of it has to do with being used to the carbon buckets in my M3. I think I was just used to such a firm seat that these Recaros, it kind of compensates for the rough ride, because you really feel bumps on this car. I mean, you go over little micro potholes or dips in the road, and like the car is bouncing, moving, but you still feel comfortable, which it's kind of hard to explain without experiencing. That kind of brings me to my next thing. What other cars was I looking at? C7Z manual, even some of the automatics if it was the right spec. I was looking at C6 Z06s, but I just felt like for what that car offered, you have to do so much work with the heads, other things, and it just didn't seem like it made sense. I looked at E92 M3s, same thing. Can't remember for that car, it's the heads or valves or rods. There's something about that car that you have to do. It didn't seem like that made sense. I wanted something that was kind of out of the box, ready to go, just like my M3 before, right? S58, B58, super easy to tune, modify. You have so much usable power from the factory. I wanted the same system on something like this, kind of a plug and play. I looked at C6 ZR1s. Those cars, even though they're so badass, I couldn't find a spec that just wasn't absurdly overpriced. And there wasn't a lot available in my area. Some of the other cars, you know, I looked at maybe doing an S58 again, maybe like an M2, maybe going back to B58. Thought about doing M340i again. If anything, if Gen 3 was unlocked, the B58 Gen 3, I would have actually seriously considered going B58, just because the port injection, the larger turbo, that platform is going to be insane once you can tune and modify it. So I think if that actually was a thing, I would have pounced on it. But who says we can't do that in the future, especially with this new 2027 M350i xDrive or whatever they just leaked coming out. It will be interesting to see kind of where that platform goes. This car still was on my list. It always caught my eye. It's just different, man. And I think these cars are going to be future collectors. I think they're going to hold their value extremely well. Prices kind of have already stabilized. But enough yapping. I think it's time for you guys to hear what this thing sounds like. All right, here we go. There's just something about a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. It just hits different than the inline sixes. I don't know how to explain it until you drive it, man. Right now, this car actually has an AWE exhaust on the back. So it's the Touring, which is a resonated. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but this is not the factory exhaust. It's stock everything back to the axle back other than this. So check it out. We have Rotofab intake and Mighty Mouse catch can. So there you guys have it. We do have some nice bolt-ons already that are gonna help with our other upgrades. I really wanna do long tube headers on it, a long tube system, all the way back to the stock NPP. I actually picked up a pair of the stock muffler, or a stock muffler, not a pair, a stock muffler off eBay from a 2014 one, or a 2024 one. And we're gonna slap this guy back on. I'm gonna have a shop custom weld it, so they're gonna do some custom fabrication to connect the long system. I would like to be able to use the valves just because it's gonna be so loud. It would be nice to have the mild to wild versatility. Plus, I love the sound of the stock muffler. It has such a nice high-pitched exotic sound, especially when paired with headers. It is just perfection. I don't think I need to do any upgraded pulley, a balancer, ported heads, ported blower. I don't think I need to do any of that. Right now, I think the sweet spot is just intake, headers, tune, and that is it. Maybe a supercharger lid. We might upgrade that right there, which is just the stock lid, which does a great job. But if we want a little bit more of that whine sound, the stock supercharger lid still gets the job done, but DSX makes a good one and it looks really nice. Check it out. This car only has, well, hold on. This car only has, can you guys see that? 7,600 miles, man. Obviously the mile's super low and I'm very satisfied with it, but at the same time, this car actually had some problems. Let's just say the dealer that I bought it from, placed in Reno, didn't disclose certain things to me. Obviously I had the car shipped. I bought it sight unseen, just like you saw in the title of the video. Other than this door issue here, which isn't too big of a deal, it's just I wish this was disclosed. You can see it actually had a huge paint flake or chip that came completely off, and then they put vinyl over it to kind of hide it. Something that you should definitely disclose, especially on a car like this. On top of that, I actually got the car inspected right after it showed up. It turns out it actually had a cracked motor mount. So the motor mount was completely cracked on the passenger side, which usually at a low mileage car like this, yes, it is a 2018, so it's almost 10 years old. There can be some issues where those can crack on the LT4s, but it was completely split all the way through. All the hydraulic fluid was out of it. The first thing that obviously came to my mind was, yep, this car was probably tracked, which if anything, it makes sense based on the platform, which I'm fine with. Obviously the car can handle that, but at the same time, cracked motor mount is a little bit of a concern, especially a safety issue. Not only to drive the car, also it makes you think, you know, was this car even inspected? They told me it was inspected. They sent me some inspection sheet. This is why you should always go see a car in person, guys. You don't know what you're gonna get into, but I got it fixed. We actually upgraded to BMR polyurethane motor mounts. Lots of exciting things for this car, guys. I mean, the biggest thing right now is learning how to drive it, learning manual, learning a new platform. From there, we can start having some fun, but I am very, very happy and excited about this car. It's not perfect. Obviously, it's super low mileage. A lot of you guys that are looking to drive manual, this will be a great way to kind of see my experience with it. It's intimidating, you know, driving a manual car, especially something like this in heavy traffic. Hey man, it's no joke. I mean, you will be clenched. That's all I have to say. You know, life is short and we want to make the most of it. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking through. I know some people have been messaging me saying, whoa, where you been? What you been up to? Okay, life is great. You can see I'm in probably the best place I could possibly be, being young, lots of opportunity. I have a lot of good things going on in my life right now that I definitely want to share with you guys, you know, from career to investments, financial things, just lifestyle. I don't know, we might tap into this a little bit more if you guys would be interested in that. It's nice to be back in this lane and actually have a fun car, because I've been kind of putting around in my Tesla recently, and you know, that car is great and all. I don't pay for gas, you know, because my apartment has free charging, but it just gets old after a while. So this is something new and refreshing, and it keeps me on my toes. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Much love as always, and make sure you guys like and subscribe so you stay tuned for this journey. This car is going to be an absolute monster. Fun things to look forward to. Much love as always, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.